Hey guys, how are we doing? Crypto Insight UK here, bringing you back another video. And I'm going to be quite frank with you guys. I don't have too much to report on in comparison to yesterday. I'm going to finish with some bullish XRP news and more of like a fundamental or my opinion and analysis on XRP and not really technical. And let's just get into today's video. So looking at Bitcoin, what we can see is from the daily closes, we actually do have a slight bullish divergence here, which is where the RSI has made equal lows pretty much, and price made a slightly higher low. Obviously, we're still looking at this sort of structure. This is what I drew out the other day. You've seen this before. Nothing has really changed since yesterday. Whether we get some developing price action today in anticipation for Jackson Hole tomorrow, I don't know. There's a lot of talk around that, whether Powell's going to talk about cutting rates or not. Again, I really don't know. There's two sides of the story. One is Trump obviously feels he should, and he's saying that it's political why he's not. And then maybe that is the narrative for Powell too. Maybe he's like, well, maybe it is political for him. Maybe it's like a legacy thing for him, and he just will try not to cut rates and won't cut rates. Who knows? So we're waiting for developing price action, essentially, and the whole like markets in general are really waiting for that. I'm going to take us back to the daily. I'm just going to look at the S&P. Yesterday we did pull back, but then recover. Today we look like we are starting to open price, or we will open price when markets open in about 3 hours. Slightly lower than yesterday. But the thing that's interesting to me is the Dow Jones. Finished slightly in the green, but look how close we are to potentially breaking out. This is what I feel like the crypto market feels like as well. Everything's kind of waiting for that decision. Are we going to have another little pullback? Is the Dow Jones, for example, going to close that gap? Or is it time for us to really start pushing towards the upside? And I still don't know the answer. We looked yesterday and discussed, I'll take you to Ethereum in a second. I'm going to show you Ethereum in 1 minute actually. And we looked at Ethereum yesterday, which I said is kind of the key to the puzzle. I'll take you to the 4 hour, and I'm going to take you to liquidity charts after this. But we said, look, there's liquidity here, and I'll show you the liquidity in a minute. But Ethereum's still back within this, like, you can call it a bear flag. It broke to the downside, swept the liquidity, literally swept the liquidity that I'm going to show you in a second. And then now is back at what you can call highs of this range. If we look at Bitcoin dominance has been doing the same sort of structure over and over, dropping, consolidating, dropping, consolidating. When we were in this time period here, we actually had a bit of a bounce to about just less than middle of the range, and then continued to the downside. We hit yesterday, I'll take the drawings off just so I can make it clear. We hit yesterday the bottom like support. Are we going to come up, have a little bit of a bounce maybe on US Open and continue down? Or are we going to break this range / come and test the top of this channel? I don't know what the answer is. I think that markets do look kind of heavy. We're going to look at Bitcoin. We do have this liquidity below us at like 106. I've been saying that for a long time. However, I also do feel that crypto looks overextended, and one piece of good news or a catalyst, as I've just shown you in the Dow Jones specifically, but also in crypto, it's like it's going to take us really much higher, in my opinion, for altcoins. So that's where I sit, and that's why even for weeks I've been saying like I really don't know. I don't know what's coming next, and like that I don't know is reflected by Bitcoin price action, just why Ethereum loads. Like if I take us on the daily here, I've got no drawings on this, but realistically, although we have had some fluctuations, obviously, quite like from 110k to 123k and back down to 110, for like since the 11th of July, we've basically chopped sideways. There was a long period where we didn't do anything at all. Then we lost that range. Everyone thought we were coming down. Then we went to the upside of the range, swept the highs, and now we're back at the lows again. And then even before that, like the move from 102 to like 123, that's been going on since like May time, and the same sort of thing happened there. And then what happened was on the second visit to the downside, people got tricked out of positions, and then we moved up and formed a new range. Now, whether that's going to happen again or not, I don't think so, because what I think happens next is a more explosive move to the upside, and I have been calling for that for a while. Granted, I have, because that's what I think is coming. Like, I can't sit here and tell you things that I don't think is going to happen. I think that is happening. I feel like the markets are overextended to the downside. I feel like sentiment on crypto Twitter is awful and we're at all-time highs. Everyone's throwing shit at each other, whether you be holding XRP, Chainlink, Cardano, Ethereum, doesn't matter, Bitcoin even like Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy, Bitcoin maxis are like kind of imploding against each other. It feels terrible. We're at all-time highs. And this is the sort of time when things do march to the upside, because everyone then will be shocked, like, oh, I thought we were coming down. MicroStrategy looks like it's going to implode, so the top's in, and this top's in because of this, and oh, Kanye West launched a meme coin, oh, it's a top signal. You're seeing all these sort of like narratives come out that, to me, make me feel like we're going to march upwards, and people are going to be like, oh shit, I thought the top was in. Whether that comes after a bit more of a drop and we trap some more bears, I really don't know. Or whether we continue, I don't know. But that's why I'm long in. That's why I'm long in alts. As you guys know, I'm long AVAX, I'm long Fartcoin, and I'm long Doge. And I could get stopped out. I just thought the risk reward was good on all of them. And so that's why we're in. We'll quickly look at AVAX. I've tweeted all these anyway. They're live. Up on AVAX slightly. Fartcoin I'm down on. I think I entered like 92, and Doge I'm down. I entered at 22.5, but it's only on a 2x, so it doesn't really matter too much. So, but interestingly, good volume on Doge on the daily. I think Doge still structurally looks pretty good. Potentially taking the bottom of the range. I might have lost it again today. This is what I mean. It's like, but even on these movements, since this push, since this volume, the volume on this candle here, nothing's really happened volume-wise. It's really dead. So yeah, that's my thought process. That's where I am. ETH, we discussed this. We said, look, we need to start closing above this level. It literally has bounced off it so far. And I said, this was one of the paths that I drew about. In fact, I'm going to show you that path specifically. If I can just quickly find it. For some reason, it took all my drawings off. There is a path here where we come up, we test the high, and we maybe come down and test that trend line, or we could just range inside here. So we could do, let's just get this ready, because I'm going to show you this in a minute as well. I think you'll be excited by it, but we'll do that to finish. Like, we could just do this. We were in this pattern here. This was what was going on. We had this trend in here, bang, like that. And then I said, look, we could go up here. Don't know why it's red, but we'll just keep drawing in red. And this is actually a pattern I didn't really discuss, because that would then act as a recent high. And that could hold a support. That could coincide with Bitcoin dominance, or we also could go like that and then go. I don't know what the structure is going to be. There is liquidity building below us on ETH, so there's potential that we come down and sweep that. They're my thoughts. I'm literally in no man's land. I think that we will have a significant move to the upside at some point. I've been saying that for a long time. I know I sound like a broken record, but as I said, it's what I think. I can't tell you any more or less than that. So I'm going to finish the TA with that today, because people coming out here telling you to open and close trades, I'm not going to tell you to do anything like that. I think that we go up. I've got the trades on that I've got, and I could be wrong. And if I am, then that is what it is. That's the game. But lastly, I want to say, I'm going to read this out actually. I said, attention, bullish post incoming. This is for XRP holders. Ripple are looking for a Fed master account, and we've said for a long time they want to become a lender of last resort. They've been providing liquidity for IPOs recently, and in my opinion are fulfilling the goal of bridging the gap between Web3 and traditional finance. XRP has been positioned as a neutral bridge asset, not just between Web3 and Web2, but mainly for FX. That's what cross-border payments was the original, and it still continues to be, with actually some talk about Swift potentially using them or HBAR. I don't know how much weight there was to that, so I didn't include it, but that is a new rumor, or a rumor that was posted about yesterday. Someone wrote up about that, some sort of capital group, I don't know. Right now, it's looking like exactly this. Yes, these IPOs are taking place with RLUSD, but any increase in TVL, total value locked, or liquidity on the XRP ledger, whether immediately or further down the line, will produce positive outcomes for XRP. This will be even more significant once DeFi launches on the XRP ledger, which is coming imminently. Through emotion, tribalism, or simply lack of knowledge, many people have overlooked XRP. The difficult part in the future may not be whether XRP succeeds, but whether people decide to sell. The narrative around XRP is going to get stronger, and this trend will likely continue, especially if Ripple secures a Fed master account like I mentioned above. It's extremely positive to see an institution within the crypto space providing liquidity, not just to other crypto companies, but interacting with the Web2 world. I think the importance of this is being overlooked. I discussed that on X the other day, but I think it's clear the XRP community, the XRP army has been pretty much on the money so far, and it looks like that will continue. I'm extremely excited to see what comes next. Companies tapping Ripple for a line of credit. This is a huge development, especially if they're utilizing the XRPL. I'm talking specifically about the video that is below here, where they discuss the IPO of Bullish that actually tapped Ripple for a $1.25 billion credit line, and Gemini's IPO, which also borrowed Gemini tapped Ripple for 125 mil or 250 million of credit, and Bullish, part of their IPO, or maybe all of it, IPO'd in Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin. $1.25 billion worth of stablecoin was paid out for the IPO, or they used RLUSD for this IPO. So for those who don't know, some XRP is burned for every transaction on the XRPL. While it's only a tiny amount to the level of liquidity on the network, there is a definite correlation to price. We haven't found an accurate way of translating TVL directly into price. There are many ongoing discussions about how quickly liquidity can move, but there's clearly a positive correlation. Over time, I think this will be more evident on Bullish XRP. And I'm going to finish by playing this little video for you here. We'll just listen to it together, and I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, please share it with a friend. Please like and subscribe. And let me know if you've got any questions in the comment section below. Peace up, A-Town down, as Crypto Insight UK would say.
And I think Ripple is on the forefront of that. I mean, look at what they're doing for Gemini's IPO. Yeah, I think they're giving them a $175 million credit facility. Is that correct? Did you guys see that story?
Yep, that's correct.
Well, Ripple announced this morning, 51 minutes ago, congratulations to Bullish on their successful IPO. And they arranged, Bullish did a partnership with Ripple, evidently, to where they've arranged for $1.15 billion of dollars of the IPO proceeds to be paid to them in Ripple's stablecoin. So, the fact that Ripple's out there doing this should not be surprising. They now have a stablecoin. They're soon to have a banking license, I would assume. They own a large exchange in Hidden Road. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at the fabric that's being woven here and see what it looks like. I mean,
I haven't looked deeply into that, but as you describe it, it seems like Ripple is really skating to where the puck's at with the institutional and government side of crypto. Like they have the money, they have the power, they have the, I guess, regulatory clarity now. And as you said, they can actually utilize their own stable coin to increase usage of it for all these purposes. It's pretty brilliant.
And they can cash their XRP stack in for stable coins. So it's this huge collateralized 21st century exchange that is now offering IPO services and payment through their stablecoin. That's first of its kind. It's like what's going on in Wyoming. No one's ever done that before. It's never happened. So it definitely deserves our attention.
This is what I've talked about liquidity in the crypto markets associated with equity IPOs, right? So, Bullish and Ripple doing some things. There's liquidity being passed back and forth there. Gemini taking a credit facility from Ripple, liquidity being passed back and forth there. There's new capital that's created literally out of thin air associated with Gemini's IPO that's happening momentarily. That's going to continue to fuel a move higher. And again, that to me, that's the reason why there's going to be a breakout to the upside that's going to be pretty extraordinary in my mind. You just can't continue to create and facilitate sizable amounts of liquidity that just goes nowhere.
It's no different than the ICO, but now we're doing IPOs on crypto exchanges, right? Which is look at how much look at the ICO craze and how much liquidity that pumped into the markets. I mean, that was an incredible sight to see. It was money sloshing all around everywhere, every day. Now you're looking at Ripple doing the exact same type of a structure. And if you think about it, it's genius. If I'm going to launch my IPO and I'm a big crypto company, Gemini, and I want to partner with somebody that can give me all the collateral that I need, all the loan that I need, the facilities that I need. Time they actually have the exchange where people can go buy it, both retail, institutional, the whole gamut. It's accessible by all human beings. How do you think you would gatekeep that type of a project? Well, you force people to buy it in your stable coin, right? And then you have more liquidity coming in. It's the exact same recipe that the ICOs did. You had to get in. If you wanted to buy a unique ICO on Binance, what did you have to hold? BNB. You had to hold Binance. Good. Yeah. So it's same. It's just happening now with IPOs, which is insane because there's so much more money in the IPOs, and there's so much more traditional finance that is paying attention to this, but it's being done in a high-speed rail versus an old, steam locomotive. It's insane.